Right then, let's have a chinwag about the body's engine, shall we? Just like a motor car prefers petrol, our bodies have their favorite fuel, glucose. It's the go-to energy source, readily available from all those lovely carbohydrates we tend to scoff. But hold on, there's a twist. Our bodies can also use fat for fuel, a bit like having a backup generator. This fascinating little process is governed by something called the Randle Cycle. Named after a chap called Philip Randle. Imagine him as a sort of metabolic traffic warden, directing the flow of energy in our systems. Now here's the kicker. Glucose and fat, much like squabbling siblings, don't play nicely together. They compete for metabolic attention, vying for the honor of being burned as fuel. And guess what? Glucose, the cheeky blighter, usually wins. This constant competition, my friends, is at the heart of the Randle Cycle. A metabolic dance-off between glucose and fat, if you will. So how does this Randle Cycle work, you ask? Well, picture this. You've just tucked into a plate of bangers and mash. Delicious, isn't it? Your body converts those lovely carbs into glucose, which comes knocking on the door of your cells, eager to be used as energy. Now, if you're constantly topping up your glucose levels with bread, pasta, and the like, your cells become accustomed to this readily available fuel. They become a bit like pampered pets, turning their noses up at the thought of burning fat. But here's where the Randle Cycle comes into play. When you reduce your carbohydrate intake, your glucose levels naturally drop. The cells, accustomed to their regular sugar rush, start to panic. Right, what's a body got to do to get some energy around here? This is where fat steps in, like an underappreciated understudy finally getting their moment in the spotlight. The body, forced to find an alternative energy source, starts breaking down fat into molecules called ketones. And lo and behold, the cells begin to adapt, happily using ketones as their primary fuel. Now, where does the carnivore diet fit into all of this, you ask? Well, imagine the carnivore diet as a way of giving glucose the boot, so to speak. By banishing sugary carbohydrates and embracing the wonderful world of meat, fish, and other animal products, you're essentially forcing your body's hand. You see, without a constant influx of glucose, those pampered cells have no choice but to shape up and embrace the fat-burning life. They become lean, mean, ketone-burning machines. It's like swapping a diet of crisps and biscuits for a hearty steak and eggs. A complete metabolic overhaul. Of course, this change doesn't happen overnight. There might be a bit of grumbling from the cells initially, a bit of what you might call the carb flu. But stick with it, my friends, because the potential benefits are quite remarkable. Now, I'm not suggesting we all turn into ravenous carnivores overnight. However, understanding the Randle Cycle and the impact of the carnivore diet can be a right game changer. It's like discovering a hidden metabolic button, allowing us to switch from sluggish sugar burners to efficient fat-burning machines. Many folks on the carnivore diet report a whole host of benefits, from weight loss and increased energy levels to improved mental clarity and reduced inflammation. And let's be honest, who wouldn't fancy feeling a bit sharper and more energized? So there you have it, the Randle Cycle and the carnivore diet, explained in a way that even a toddler could grasp, hopefully. Remember, this isn't about deprivation, but about making informed choices that empower us to thrive. Who knows, you might even find yourself roaring with newfound energy, just like a lion on the savannah, though perhaps without the chasing gazelles part, eh? After all, we are civilized folk.